Welcome back to Truth Quest. My name is Moriarity. I will be your host, and we're going to go on a quest for truth together. Yes, we really are. Here we are again, questing for the truth. And we're starting a little bit earlier tonight than we normally do. So I'm going to go ahead and share this out to my friends on the Book of Faces. And I hope you're all having a fine Friday evening. We are live. Oops. Yes, we're live. I hope you're all having a wonderful Friday. Remember that song, Fridays? Hello, Catherine Weiss. First one here. Very good. Awesome. First mod on the job. And so I've shared it on out to my Facebook page, but maybe I should share it out to my Truth Quest page as well. So let me do that. We have some things to talk about today, friends. An amazing, I don't know if you'd call it a discovery or not, but an amazing anomaly that popped up yesterday. So I'm going to show you that. It's pretty interesting, I think. Here we are, episode 150. And, 150. That's a pretty good milestone, wouldn't you think? And how do you know you're at the Truth Quest? Well, you know you're at the Truth Quest because we're just downrange of strange. Where the outrageous is contagious and the paranormal is the new normal. Here we are, being not so normal. Isn't that right? Yes, indeedy. Hello, Becky, and hello, Kelly Q. Welcome to the program. Oh, look at that, a smiley face with a halo. That's pretty cool. So there we go. All righty then. So let's kick this off, shall we? And get this show on the road, or the road on the show, however they want to say it. Right? And remember, friends, to tell all your friends and people who might be interested in the paranormal that Corey Good is going to be on the program. He hasn't done an interview in a long time. We're the first show that he's going to do this next series of interviews, but we're the first ones. So very proud of that. Spread the word. 8 o'clock Central on this here channel on the YouTube with Corey Good talking about secret space program, the blue avians, everything like that. The blue spheres, these blue spheres that come and they buzz around, and when he gives the okay, I'm ready, it expands, it engulfs him, and then transports him to someplace in outer space, different place every time, no matter, depending on where he needs to go. But it maintains an environment to keep him alive and brings him wherever he needs to go. These are living beings, these sphere beings, part of the Sphere Being Alliance. 5 different types of extremely advanced extraterrestrials. So they say. The blue avians, who came here as like 9-foot tall blue bird people with flexible beaks, but not really a beak. And they move their hands when they talk. But they chose to come as that. There's also the golden triangle head being. He has like a triangle shaped head, and it's golden, and his arms are like wibbly and wobbly, and his legs are like, you know, almost like an underwater creature, like he's very waverly, you know. So I don't know. Something strange. And the blue spheres, the spheres that can engulf you. And there's two other groups that have not revealed themselves yet. And it's a good thing, because the blue avians were finding that people were worshiping them. That wasn't the message. Don't worship us. Don't worship, get off your knees. Don't worship us. So try not to, our species is accustomed to worshiping. So don't worship other beings. That's what it is. Hello, Dark Brain. Welcome to the program. And Mud Rabbit. Hello, hello, hello. Yes. All right. Well, let's get this thing knocked off here. We got a good bunch of people here now. Oh, yeah. So let's get into this amazing discovery. I don't know if it's a discovery or not. You tell me. So I was playing around with these images of flowers. And you know what? Maybe I need to show you the flower pictures first that those were derived from, because I think that would be well, I don't have them readily available, so let's just dive right into it. Shall we now? Yes, we shall. Share screen. Here we go, folks. So you're all familiar with the iris, right? So here is one of the iris pictures that I wanted to show you. Here it is over here. Look at that. Isn't that neat? Now, if you look closely, there's an eye here, an eye here, and a nose. It's like someone wearing a flower mask. Isn't that cool? I thought that was pretty darn cool. And so very, very different. Very, very different. Hit that like button. Yes, I'm going to take, I got number 7 I got thumbs up number 7 for me. My lucky number is 7. Hey, that's a good lucky number. So there is an iris that I've went ahead and I did the mirroring process to it. And that's what I got. So there. So there we are. I like that. What do you folks think of that? Yeah. Alrighty then. That's that one. Okay. I'm trying to find this one, folks, that you're going to love. Oh, where did it go? Where did it go? Uh-oh. Hmm. I think that's the problem right there, folks. So let's see what people are saying. Very owlish. Oh, okay. Just Josh. Looks like a lion rabbit. A lion rabbit. It's pretty, Mud Rabbit says. Yeah, it's very different, that's for sure. Oh. Oh, oh. Lordy, lordy, look who's 40. Yeah. And folks, you are going to be shocked by this next one. I believe that you might be shocked by this next one. Let me get these all up too. Alrighty then. Yes. All right. Well, let's see who's over at the chat now. Lions aren't your type. No. I wouldn't think that they would be my type either, a lion. But, you know, here's the thing, friends. This iris is a beautiful, feminine-looking flower. And so I almost hesitate to show you what I found in one of these mirror images, because it's not what you would expect to find in a beautiful flower like that, very feminine-looking flower. Take a look at this. I hope this doesn't disturb anybody. But take a look at that face. That's a creepy looking guy, huh? Maybe a flower, a male flower fairy or something. I don't know. What do you think of that? Is that weird? I wasn't expecting anything like that. That's for sure. You know, a lot of times you can see faces in these images, but it's a pretty clear one. That is kind of ominous. Lions eat rabbits? Well, I don't like lions either then. I don't like lions. Isn't that thing bizarre? Oh my goodness. I saw that one. Oh my gosh. What is this? What is that? It's just a visual anomaly. You know, when you reverse an image and halftone it upon itself and move it around, you're going to find these weird images popping up. Wild face. Yeah, isn't it? Put that one on a shirt? You think so? Okay, well, first I have to figure out, I get to remember what my password is to make a new shirt. Oh, apparently the password I wrote down isn't right. And I can't get in. So that sucks. But I guess I can figure that out. But there you go. That's a wild, wild face. Twin Peaks. Yeah. I vaguely remember Twin Peaks. I see Picard's face. Yeah. The Borg, the Garden Borg. That's what he is. The Flower Borg. Hey, Young Star Wizard is here. Yeah. He made it. And look what we show you here, Mr. Young Star. Check that out. You see that face in this flower? Isn't that weird? That is a weird thing. I love all the little patterns that show up when you do this kind of thing. You know, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool, baby. It's cool. Cool as a moose, as my former boss would say quite frequently. I'd say cool. And Keith Patterson would say, cool as a moose. Cool as a moose. He'd always say that. And I would always think, why is he saying that? Right? I couldn't figure it out. And so that was a long time ago, like in the 80s. But in just a few years ago, I was curious. I thought, you know what? I'm going to look that phrase up, cool as a moose. And sure enough, they're out east somewhere. I can't remember what little state it's in, out east on the East Coast. There's a store called Cool as a Moose. There you go. That's why he was saying it. I had no clue about it. I see girls' lips on the side. Girls' lips on the side. Girls' lips on the side. I'm not sure what that means or where that, which side. Girls' lips on the side. Maybe you're talking about like the outline right here, like a profile of a lip. I don't know. Not sure. Not sure. Speaking of shirts, the merch is right here. There you go. Thank you, Mud Rabbit. Yeah, and I heard Mud Rabbit is wearing that shirt all over town. The Invisimask shirt, right? Isn't that right? So thank you for spreading the word all over town like that. That's fantastic. Oh, that's why he's smiling. He's been kissed. Oh. Oh. I guess so. I'd be smiling if I was kissed, that's for sure. I see girls' lips with pink lipstick. Girls' lips with pink lipstick. Oh, you mean right here? Is that what you're talking about? Right here? Lips. Looks like upside down lips. Hey, that's something we could do. Let's flip this baby over and see if we see anything else. I just see an upside down clown face. Change your perspective and the whole thing changes. Maybe. I don't know. It's weird. And left stickers where you went. Awesome. Yeppers. And left stickers where I went. Awesome. Yeah, I gave you some of those stickers that Artist 61 made up for us. And oh, if Lucid Heart, excuse me, if Lucid Heart is in the audience, we mailed off your Popple book, and you should get it. You should get it by the 7th. The 7th, because it's actually very close by here. So there you go. A butterfly upside down. Yeah, like a butterfly upside down. It does kind of look like a butterfly upside down. Oh, you're going to put your last sticker on the back windshield so people can see it in parking lots. Awesome. That's a good idea, Mud Rabbit. Yeah, well, let's flip this back the way it's supposed to be. I think that's better. And then we'll show you another one. Don't forget to tell all your friends about Corey Good coming on next Wednesday. Here is another one made from the same picture. Here's this kind of an odd one, huh? You know what? I'm going to flip that. Oh, it looks kind of like a reptilian, doesn't it? Both ways it does. I kind of like it that way. What do you think? Or should I switch it back? A scarab, yeah. I still see a different face in the middle, Mud. Okay, Mud Rabbit. A pink scarab, okay. Yeah, it looks kind of like some kind of reptilian, huh? Flower reptilian. Well, according to Billy Moyer, it looks like a beetle face. Like Ringo, yeah. According to Billy Meyer, he was brought to a planet in development, might have been early Earth, but they brought him to a planet that was, the life was evolving on it. And he took a picture, and the picture was of this plant that had these heads on, like with eyeballs on part of the plant. And the Plagiarin explained to Billy that this is how insects came about, that plants would produce an insect that would, separate from the plant eventually, but still carry on a symbiotic relationship with that plant. So in other words, it's like, holy crap, we need to get some pollen and it's way over there. How are we going to get that? Let's make a little creature to crawl over there and then crawl back. So apparently, according to the Plagiarin, on whatever planet this was, if it was our planet, I don't know. But there are insects with a symbiotic relationship with certain plants. Like you take the monarch butterfly and the milkweed plant. So there's some kind of connection. So did the milkweed plant produce some caterpillar thing that ended up eventually again metamorphosizing itself over eons into something that could fly? I don't know. Spooky eyeballs following you everywhere. Yeah. Hello, Crypto Alchemist. That's a good name, Crypto Alchemist. There you go. Creating all kinds of. I see a white Draco now. Okay, just Josh. Yeah, I think so too. It does look like a white Draco. That's the thing. You take a natural thing, any natural thing, like a flower, and you do this process to it, you're going to get other natural looking things. So happens every time you damp mop, you get that waxy yellow buildup, right? No, I did not talk with Billy Meyer, but I've researched him quite a bit. I've researched him quite a bit. And I did actually interview Michael Horn years ago on my other channel on Blog Talk Radio. Um, so he's the spokesperson for Billy Meyer for America. So I think he stopped giving interviews. I think you can go there and meet with him, but if you do, he puts you to work because he's a farmer and he's not going to give you an interview unless you. I don't know if he's still even giving interviews, but he'll put you to work because there's a lot of work to be done on a farm. Isn't that right? That's right. Did I flip this already? Yeah. Well, that's enough of that one. Let's see if I can keep from showing the same one twice. It might be difficult, folks. I think I already showed that one. Well, this was from a different flower, friends. Flower friends. Wait a minute. This one down here. Did I show that one yet? I don't know. Let's try it out. Try it out for size. Okay, that one's already been done. Yeah, this one, I don't see a real face in this one. Not sure. It almost looks like someone doing aerobics wearing a multi-layered pedal dress. I don't know. Let's flip it. Flip it. Flip it good. I don't know. Not a whole lot going on with this one. What do you guys think? Let's go check the chat. The legendary chat. Looks like a white Draco this way too, huh? Yeah, I don't know what this one looks like. I see the Kundalini. See Kundalini? I thought you felt the Kundalini. That one looks like it bites. Oh, yeah. Maybe it's like a, oh, I see kind of a weird looking creature on the bottom there. That's kind of odd looking. Kind of coming into focus there. Coming right into focus. Well, I'm going to give the call-in information. If anyone wants to call in, maybe you have something to say. If so, come and say it. You need Zoom, and if you come on the show, remember to mute the stream. In other words, whatever video you're watching, turn the sound down to mute so that doesn't feedback, because there's a time delay, like a 30-second time delay. You see the colors, flip it back. Flip it back? Want me to flip it back? Okay, flip it back. There you go. There it is, flipped back. I got my little participants box here. Isn't that exciting? All right. Well, that's an interesting one. It's very colorful. I love the color of this flower. It's gorgeous. I took these pictures of these flowers when I lived at this campground. And this couple owned this campground. And the missus was very good with flowers. And I just had to take pictures of these things. They were just so beautiful. You know, I was just taking pictures of flowers all the time because they were just so everywhere and so beautiful. And now I'm taking them, this is many years ago, so I'm taking them now and doing this process to them. It's pretty wild what I'm finding. And so there was another picture of kind of upside down hanging lilies, orangish type lilies. And I did this process to those. And I got to find, oh, you know what? I don't have to find the file. I have them right here in front of me. Oh, silly me. So before I show this, I'm going to show you the pictures that those came from, okay? This is the iris. Isn't that beautiful? So this picture is where all those faces and everything came from this picture, okay? Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, and here's the other one that we're going to look at now. I took this and did the same process to this. Oh, that's freaking out my background. Look at that. Because there's greens in there. It's starting to look see-through. Ooh, magical. Oh, I'm getting a magic trick here. Look at that. Oh, it's got a hole. Burning a hole through me. Oh, finally better. So those are the pictures. Hope you could see them okay. And now I'm going to show you what one of the pictures, actually a couple of pictures I made from this image. But aren't those really cool flowers? They look like aliens. Just so cool. Too cool for school. So here is one made from that. Is that one? Is that it? I think that's it. This must be it. Okay, close this one. And look at that. Isn't that just weird? Kind of bizarre. I like all the little designs down here from the evergreen. But up here, look at this. It looks like some kind of top of a Chinese building or something. It's very elegant, and it looks like a place. Like, I don't know. Isn't that wild? I like that one. Oh, righty then. Green Man's Wife. And here, friends, there's like two faces looking at each other, right? So here's one face here and this face here, and they're kind of looking at each other. They're giving each other the side eye. Isn't that weird? Let's see what people are saying. Magic flowers. Yes, those are pretty. Thank you. Thank you, Mud Rabbit. Two birds facing each other at the top. Okay. That was from the other picture, I think. Yeah. So I think that one's pretty cool. It's totally different. It's got a whole different vibe. It's very wild. Manitoid. Almost like they put a signature on their contribution to Earth. There you go. Could be. Yeah. It does look like a praying mantis type structure. I think lilies are my favorite flower. Yeah, lilies. You know, I really like the irises. The lilies are great too. Boy, it's kind of a toss up for me on those two, lilies and irises. I always thought the irises just looked like a beautiful woman's dress. You know, it's very feminine looking. That's why I was so surprised to see that male looking face pop up. It's like, whoa, what's that doing there? But you know, like Laura Eisenhower says, it's the combination of the divine masculine and the divine feminine that makes the world go round. It's not one without the other. They're not. They both are critical. And Mud Rabbit has lilies in her yard. Oh, right. Yeah, these flowers were just great. Every year they'd pop up, and oh, the whole campground would just be filled with these beautiful flowers. I don't know how she did it. I don't know how she did it. You know, do you remember the air plants? The plants that they don't need dirt or water; they just live in the air. I had one of those, and it died. Here's a plant where you don't even have to water it, and I killed it. What did I do? I'm not very good with plants, I guess I'm saying. Yeah, lilies and irises. Yes, they're very pretty flowers for sure. Yeah. You know what? I wonder what this looks like if we flip it. Let's flip this baby. There you go. Whoa. Almost looks like a monkey face. And he's holding two something. He's wearing a corset. It's a baboon holding two things in his hands, wearing a corset. There you go. With a party hat on. There you go. I like that. I have air plants and a lot of orchids. Yes, you have to water air plants if you keep the, oh, see, there's where I went wrong. I was just a little kid, but I still felt very bad about that. I thought, oh my goodness. I think I jinxed myself and made myself think I didn't have a green thumb. Although when we were kids, we would grow certain things in our backyard. We grew carrots, but we were always so anxious to eat the carrots. We'd take them out when they were like that big, but boy, were they good. Those little teeny carrots. We couldn't wait. Oh, look, you pull it up. Oh, it's only little. No, well, let's eat it. Yeah. That's why hydroponics is very interesting. Air plants, yes. Okay, I gotta keep my participant box here going. Okay, let's get rid of that one. I got another one here. And this, we're gonna go back to the iris for this one. Look at that one. That's kind of weird. Looks like some kind of weird cartoon from the 70s or something. Very bizarre. Hello, Andy Social and Kelly George. Good to see you here. Yeah. There. I put a message in the chat. Trying to multitask here. How do you like that? That's a kind of a cool, I mean, that would look cool just hanging on your wall like that, right? I think that would be cool. Ooh, that's pretty, Mud Rabbit says. Yeah, it's something kind of cool about that one. I like it. Let's flip it. Flip it good. I think I like it better the other way. What do you guys think? Looks like a woman from the back. Her hair is tied. Okay. I'm seeing these as looking like little cartoon hands. Oops. One here and one here. And like here's a little head. And he's wearing, I guess it's a she wearing a little dress right here. And these are like some kind of wild nylons. I don't know. It's weird. But I think it could just go on the wall. Ooh, look down here. It looks like a kind of a blue Catman or something. Kind of weird looking. She's wearing a jacket with a collar. She's wearing a jacket with a collar. Oh, that's the back of her. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay, so here's her shoulder, her other shoulder. And here's her collar. And I don't know what where's her head? Her head's like little right there. Octurian, an Octurian. That's this creature right here. Let's see if we can zoom in on that guy. Oh yeah, look at that. It looks like some kind of character, huh? I think we have to fuzz this out a bit. Get rid of the pixelation. There we go. can increase the darkness here. That doesn't do much. Increase the brightness? No. We can change the whole look of it just by messing with the contrast. Very bizarre. Very bizarre indeed, I would say. So there you go. But I wanted to show you that. I think that was kind of cool. Sitting in a chair, yeah, like a throne. Sure looks like it, huh? Look at the feet down there. Feet. Yeah, it's interesting. Thought you guys would like that. Hello, Austin Morris. Welcome to the program. All righty then. So let's get that one off of there. Oh, they talk about the vehicle of the future, right? Okay, so they're saying, okay, probably not gas, probably not electric. I found the vehicle of the future, friends. And not only is it a vehicle of the future, it uses no fuel. It causes nothing to the environment. But not only is it a vehicle from the future, for the future, it's also a vehicle from the past. How do you like that? There it is. No gas, no electric, and zero emissions. These are the vehicles of the future. There you go. Slightly used. Still runs good downhill. Goes really good downhill. Courtesy of Fred's Blue Feet. Courtesy of Fred's Blue Feet. That's in the song, the Flintstones song. Flintstones, meet the Flintstones. They're the modern Stone Age family. From the town of Bedrock, they're a page right out of history. Something family down the street through the courtesy of Fred's Blue Feet. There you go. He had blue feet from that. Good to see you too, Austin Morris. Okay, Kelly. She's going to be away from the chat, but listening. Hopefully be back soon. Well, we'll see you when you get back here. Green New Deal in action, yeah. Boy, they're really moving ahead with this, aren't they? Wow. That's the future they want for us. So there you go. I think that's the future we're going to get unless we change something quickly. Right? Yeah, I thought that was a good one. Very good one. I like that one. Slightly used. Goes great downhill. Yabba dabba doo. That's right. Did you know what the difference between, they did a very intense study about the people of Dubai and Abu Dhabi. And they found only one difference in those two sets of people, right? It turns out that people in Dubai cannot stand the Flintstones, but the Abu Dhabi do. The Abu Dhabi do. Do you like that? The Abu Dhabi do. But the Abu Dhabi do. Hey, that's a little better, huh? That's your Flintstone joke for the day, folks. That's the best I can do. That's the best I can do. You want the Jetsons card. That's right. Me too. Folds up into a briefcase. Yeah, that would be great. You know, I grew up with the Jetsons, and that's the future I was expecting, you know. Ba-dum-ba. That's right. And there's the call-in number, so you can call in and add to the convo. Add to the convo. So that's enough of that Flintstone vehicle. I bet those people had a lot of fun putting that together. That would be fun to make one of those, actually. Just for fun. Wouldn't that be fun? That would be great. Here is a UFO, folks, a picture of a UFO. So check this out. Check it out. So this was from, I have to move this, 1981, Vancouver, Canada. On October 8th, 1981, Hannah Roberts was traveling towards Kelsey Bay by the Isle of Vancouver. Along with friends, she stopped to take some photographs of the surrounding landscape. Several days afterward, when the photographs were developed, they noticed in one photograph a discoidal object in the sky. Discoidal? A disc-shaped object in the sky. That's how I would have worded it. They do not remember noticing anything in the sky at the time the photograph was taken. So Richard F. Haynes, retired NASA scientist. Oh, and where did that go? Oh, there it is. See more. Okay. Richard F. Haynes, a retired NASA scientist who became a famous ufologist, carried out a thorough analysis of the negative and could not discover any anomalies. His analysis is inserted in the scientific report of the Storok panel. There you go. So there is, from 1981, now this was before the age of drones. This was before, well, I guess there was Photoshop back then, but I don't know. It looks like a pretty good one to me. It looks like a pretty good one to me. We'll see if we can notice any difference, any anomalies with this image. Doesn't seem to be. Doesn't seem to be. There it is. What is it? It's not a pelican. It looks like a discoidal object, as they said. And I want to thank Sandy Sue for sending me the Matilda O'Donnell McElroy 1947 alien interview on video. You can find that. It's very interesting. It's a guy reading it. So it's very interesting. Yeah, sure is. It sure is. That's right. So let me check something over here. Alrighty then. So feel free to call in if you want to. I'm doing a little housekeeping here. I hope you're all having a grand time. And I can't. So I don't know, you know, I like older cases. 81 isn't really that old of a case, but still it's I tend to gravitate towards the older cases more because nowadays, let's just face it, there's just so many ways to fake it, right? There's just too many ways to fake it. You could Photoshop it. You could send a drone up there that looks like a UFO. There's all kinds of ways you could fake it nowadays that you couldn't necessarily do as easily back then in the day, right? That's right. Okay, here we go. Almost done with this little job. Oops. So I hope you're enjoying the show tonight. I thought those images of the flowers were very pretty. So I hope you agree. And when I come across something like that, especially with a weird anomalous face that popped up, I can't not show you guys that, right? Okay. One more quick little thing here, friends. Boy, the world is kind of going crazy right now. They're demonizing someone that they shouldn't probably be demonizing. And if you look at the people demonizing this world leader, just who is doing it has to give you pause. But I guess Hannity was calling for bad things to be done to a world leader. That's not good. This is not good at all. It's just not good. Right? Most of the older UFO stories are more believable to me because the witnesses had nothing to gain by telling their stories. Austin, they still have nothing to gain by telling their stories. They really don't have anything to gain by telling their stories. Um, you know, when I had my UFO show on Blog Talk Radio, it was a lot bigger than this. I had hundreds of thousands of downloads. And I never made a penny. It's so difficult to make any money at this. You don't even know. They make it difficult. It's impossible to make money. That's like Corey Good. People think he's faking it to make money. He had like a very good job. He was making a lot of money. And when this came out, when he was outed, he didn't come out, he was outed. He lost his job. He lost all that money he was making. So there's a common misnomer in the world that these UFO people are making money. No, they're not. Stan Romanek, he was a international best-selling author, 4 books, bestsellers. He was barely scraping by. He couldn't make any money doing this. It's impossible. So he always had other jobs. And that's what we all have to do, other things. So the idea that someone is doing that to make money is preposterous because it's literally impossible to make money on it. It's literally impossible. It's probably the most impossible thing to do, and they make it that way. And yet, it's the most popular subject. It's always one of the most popular searched items, UFO and alien. But yeah, that's just the way it is. It's Hannity is drawing them out. Oh, there's no conflict for one thing. It's 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 surgical strikes against harmful things to that country that were being built there by us. And who was there in 2005? cutting the ribbon and, big fanfare in 2005 for the first biolab in Ukraine. Who was it? Barack Hussein Obama, senator. That's just one of the things that you're not going to find out because his records are all secret. Hello, is this Max?
Yes, it is.
Well, hello, Max. How you doing today?
Good. Are you online?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Yeah. We're
What's going on?
We're talking about. I got a picture of a UFO from 1981 from Canada, and we're talking about how one of the things I was just saying is, a lot of people think that these people who have these UFO stories are trying to make money, but in reality, it's the hardest thing to make money on. It's pretty much impossible because you get deplatformed, you get your shows canceled, you get. They don't want this out. They don't want people talking about this. Yes, the shoe phone. Hello, David Parsons. Yes, this is Maxwell Smart on the phone for all of you who are wondering who this is talking. So yeah, it's
hello, everybody.
Yeah. So Corey Good did not quit his, very high-paying professional job to make much less at this. No, he didn't. He was outed. He didn't choose to come out. He did not want to come out. He didn't want his job to be lost. Okay. And also, when I had my UFO show up here on cable access, only aired 3 times. People were afraid to come on the show. They'd call in, but they were afraid to come on the show to talk about a UFO from the early 50s. And they were afraid still to talk about it because they thought they might lose their job. So,
well, you said the sheriff was out to get you, and he's only 3 doors down or something.
Yeah, he was. I was half a block from a short block from the police station at the corner lot there, and he threatened me at the top of his lungs. He was going to lock me up, throw away the key. No one will ever know where you are. And he was screaming this at me. He wasn't just talking. Good. He was screaming. So
it was obvious that somebody had told him he better make you comply.
Unreal. So after that, I didn't sleep for like a week. That's one thing.
I bet.
And I kind of stopped doing anything. I really couldn't do anything. I didn't know that there was anything on the internet like this possible. The only thing I'd ever done was cable access in the past. So that's all. And for years, I didn't pursue it because it almost got me you're taken out, really.
Mm-hmm.
He was probably planning to kill me because you can't just keep someone in jail. Someone's going to find out, people work at the jail.
I'm sure he was hoping he could scare you,
he did. But when a friend of mine told me about Blog Talk Radio back in the early 2000s, I went, yeah, I'm on that. Local people can't close that down. I'm on it. So that's how I started that.
Interesting.
Yeah. So what's new with you?
Well, I still got remnants of this cold.
Oh, yeah?
Who knows? Maybe it's COVID. I don't know.
Oh, boy.
But,
no way to know.
Every once in a while I get a cough. It's not that bad, but it was actually one of the mildest colds I ever had. But it's hung around a little longer than most. I have a cough that's still not completely gone. But
Try pineapple.
I didn't point out
Try some.
the other day. I was going to. Huh?
Try some pineapple. That'll clear you up.
Well, I actually did have a little bit of pineapple this evening.
Has to be fresh.
It helped a little.
Has to be fresh. Can't be in the can.
Yeah, this is fairly fresh.
Okay.
It's one of those fruit trays that you get.
Okay.
But I don't know if I mentioned the other day when you had talked about seeing was it Trump had a first post somewhere. It was on February 9th.
True Social. Yeah. No, I think Trump's was on the 10th and Q's was on the 9th on True Social.
Okay. Well, it was interesting because I did the mathematics of that. You got 2-9, which 2 and 9 is 11, right? And then 6 for the 2022, right? 2022. And so that adds to 17 or Q, right? And I said, okay, well, what if Q30 is 30 days later? Well, I counted off 30 days later, which is March 11th, 2022, which is 3/11/2022, which is 3 plus 11, which is 14, plus 6, which is 20. And what's 20? Is also 17 or Q plus 30 or 3, which is 20. 17 plus 3 is 20. So it's interesting. Two different ways it comes out at Q30, which I don't know if it means anything, if something's going to happen on March 11th or not. But
well, something's definitely going to happen on March 11th. Something happens every day, right?
No, I know, but something significant related to this movement.
Yeah, could be.
But I thought it was an interesting coincidence that. So we'll just have to wait and see. Is all I can say.
Yeah, I saw something, a little video on that American truckers convoy, and the lead truck. It's like 60 or 70 miles long now. The lead truck. Wow. The lead truck. They got someone that's like interviewing all these people. He's got like a flatbed, and he's got this flag. And the gal was asking about the flag, and he got choked up. She goes, "Where'd that flag come from?" He said, "Well, his family came to me with the flag, and they said, this flag was draped over their dad's coffin in 1952 or 48 or something. No, 52. After the war. He got killed in the war, and it had 48 stars on it. So it was before they added the last two, Alaska and Hawaii. And and they said, you're welcome to fly this. We'll donate it to the cause, but we want it back when it's done. We know it'll probably be tattered. Whatever's left, we want it back. Because it was draped on the coffin from someone who gave their life for the freedom of this country. So in World War II. So that's a very powerful thing. Very powerful.
Yeah, that's great.
And we're looking at the Aurora Borealis here, high above the Earth from the ISS. Beautiful, beautiful image.
Well, I woke somebody up today.
Oh, yeah?
Someone I hadn't talked to in ages, and he's ex-military. Wasn't familiar at all with the 17 movement.
No.
But when I started mentioning what was going on in the world, he's like, all of a sudden, he could tell that he realized it just hit him, all at once. He says, "Oh my God, yeah. Well, I didn't see this, I said, "I thought you already knew, because I know his parents too." He said, "I thought you already would know this." I said, "No, but I'm glad you told me."
Yeah.
I said, "Don't, you're going to go through, the dark night of the soul here as you realize how many things you've been lied to about, you know?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, it's
He
quite.
says, yeah, but I need to know.
People are way more easier to control than I ever thought possible.
Yeah.
I would never want to control somebody else. I can barely control myself. Just kidding.
Yeah.
I can't.
It's hard to wake people up talking about what's going on in Ukraine. You know, they can't accept that this leader who is Jewish could possibly be, an NAZI. And I said, why can't you believe that? You know that Soros is a Hungarian Jew, and he was associated with, the other NAZI movement. And said, what do you mean? He says, well, he was the guy who had the contract to remove the riches from his fellow Jews' dead bodies. Right after they came out of the gas chamber, there's a picture out there with Soros stepping on one of his fellow Jews' head and pulling the golden teeth out of somebody who was just killed in the gas chamber.
I never saw that picture.
Yeah, there's a picture out there.
I don't know, man. I would.
And he's a Hungarian Jew. This is a guy. If a guy can do that to his own people, it tells you what kind of person this is.
To any person. Of course,
any person.
But of course, that experiment throws water on all that because anybody will do it. If someone in a white coat tells them to do something, they'll do it. Even if it hurts somebody else or kills them, they'll do it. People are so easy to control. Why are people so easy to control? This is a problem. We need to make these people not so easy to control.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
Hi, Abby.
Part of it is, like I said, this is a training matrix for all of us. We're supposed to be learning from all this, and we are learning, whether we like it or not.
Okay, Austin Morris says the elected president of Ukraine, who was overthrown in 2014, was a Jew. Yeah, he was overthrown by the Obama administration. And Barack Obama, when he was a senator, he was there in 2005, christening the very first biolab that the United States funded on the border of Russia. So, I mean, it's just bizarre that they're trying to I don't have TV, but I know what they're doing. I can see enough of it.
Well, it's all about fear.
Yeah, they're trying to make him a boogeyman.
Everything in fear, right?
It's sick.
Unfortunately, a lot of patriots are going along with it.
Well, that slimy guy who does not belong in government, who was No Name's right-hand man, and I just saw him in a video giving the Ukrainian soldiers a big pep talk back in the day when McStain was still alive. And that's what's his name? What's his name? Oh, what is that guy's name? He recently said too that he wanted that world leader to be done away with.
Right.
Which is not something you say. Well, they want him gone because he's the one that can pull all the information out of Ukraine to show that they're all crooks. That's why they're after him. That's my opinion. We'll see when it all shakes out.
And he's a superpower, and he represents a superpower, and one that they can't control. And they're trying to doing everything to destabilize his country, right?
Yeah, they're doing.
There are forces within his own country that are trying to do the same thing they were doing in our country, and that it previously did in Germany in the 30s.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And they're doing the same thing. They're trying to do it, but he's wise to it, of course. So
right. Yeah.
He doesn't put up with it. He says, "Okay, you got to do that. You got to.
Yep.
You got to do your shenanigans because you're going to jail."
Yeah, it's the deep state is at it again. The deep state is at it again. They did it to Saddam, then they did it to Gaddafi, and now they're doing it to Putin.
Right.
They're trying to do it to
Yeah.
Putin. But
Trying to
Putin,
do it. He's not going to put up with it.
I hope that Putin comes up with a lot of evidence that he's gathering there. Hopefully he's gathering it to put these deep staters in their place. I'm not saying that Putin is a good guy. I'm just saying that this is being grossly misrepresented, and we just don't know the full story. We should all,
Yeah. But
reserve
you can't say
judgment.
relative to the deep state. Relative to the deep state, you can trust him a lot more than you can the deep state.
Yeah, he's against the deep state. So
Right.
that's all you need to know.
The deep state lied to you every day of their lives, and you want to believe them? Come on.
Well,
You know? You know they're going to lie to you. Give me an example when they haven't lied. Give me one example when they haven't lied.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, really.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're attacking him, he's doing something right.
Yeah. We don't know why he's holding back and not going in. Well, he's given warning, told people to get out. Did you see this? Okay, it's a still image. It's a photograph. This image made from a video released by the Zaporizhzhia, I can't pronounce it, nuclear plant, Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant, shows a bright object landing on the grounds of the plant in Enerhodar, Ukraine on March 4th. And it looks, I wanted to do something to this thing. I want to see if we can't, I don't think it's going to work. No. So now some people are saying, oh, it was a flare and there was a fire, an administrative building on this complex that was burning. The media was saying that the Russians had this power plant surrounded and they were shelling it. That's not what happened. This thing landed. They said it was a flare, but I don't know. That doesn't look like a flare to me. That's very, very strange looking. I don't know. Something's up. Something's up.
You have to question anything the media says. Because how do you know anybody died?
Yeah.
Really? How do you know that anybody died?
Yeah.
The local media in my area has covered a lot of the videos and say these are false. Because patriots have found where the videos actually occurred someplace other than Ukraine. Same exact videos that are put on the mainstream media. You know, and so these are all lies. These are all fake news. So,
well, here's the deal.
Fake images and whatever. Couldn't they be lying about deaths? Couldn't they be lying about everything?
Yeah. Well,
wouldn't it be safer to bet they are lying?
Of course they are.
Based on what we know. Of
course they are. Here's a tweet from Adam Paul Laxalt, whoever he is, blue check mark. We are buying $22 million worth of Russian oil today while sending $350 million in U.S. military aid to Ukraine. The Biden administration is funding both sides of this war. I guess they want to win, so they fund both sides. Is that the deal? Yeah, we're spending all this money on energy from Russia. Well, supposedly he's waging this war, yet we're still giving him millions per day. I mean, what's the deal? It's so stupid. And now, we are squeezing, we got him out of the SWIFT. We're threatening to get him out of the SWIFT system. So then now Russia said they're not going to accept American money. So now, how are we going to buy that fuel that we need from Russia? Well, if I was Russia, I wouldn't be so happy to be selling anything to the United States right now with the misinformation that's coming out on them. I don't know. Yeah, It's
Putin knows everything that's going on, though. So
he's putting things back where they belong. That's what he's doing.
yeah.
He's putting things straight.
Whether he's completely good or not, he's on the side of good here. This is part of the plan.
Yeah.
Don't be fearful.
Even Hitler had his good side. He was good with kids, so even Hitler had a good side. But
yeah, and people change.
And remember the soccer ball?
You know,
remember the soccer ball?
The what?
The soccer ball that was exchanged when Putin and Trump met. Putin gave Trump this soccer ball. It was some Olympic thing or something. But all the patriots were saying, there must be some microfilm inside of there or something.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah. So that's an interesting thought too.
You never know. I think, like I said, BCP had he said a number of great things. I thought he had a video with Putin and Z in there saying that they're going to counter, just like they agreed to at the end of World War II with the Geneva Convention. They're going to counter militarism and Nazism, Naziism, wherever it shows up in the world.
Maybe we could call that.
And they said this right before he went into Ukraine.
Maybe we could call that nastyism.
Nastyism. Oh, I know. Let's call it Yahtzeism.
I got
Yahtzee.
Yahtzee.
Yahtzee with an N.
Oh. All right.
The Yahtzees. The Yahtzees with an N. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
Triple Yahtzee.
There you go.
Anyway. Oh well, I just want people to remain calm and don't give up our powers to the deep state by understand they're trying to punk us here.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to make us fearful of everything from nuclear weapons to, it's all, Putin's not about to do it. He's using this against them too,
Mm-hmm. Oh, and there's footage of a tank running over a car. And the news is saying it's a Russian tank, but actually it's a Ukrainian tank. That's what they're doing, is they're creating this footage and then putting it out there. And remember, Zelensky's an actor, okay?
Right.
So and he was put in there by us, I think, wasn't he?
In the color revolution of 2014, that's called.
But I think he won a.
Sounds like Austin knows something about that.
Yeah, Austin was saying, let's see, supposedly a flash drive which rattled and bounced inside. I don't know what that. Oh, inside the soccer ball. Yeah, they have it all. I mean, Q said that so many times. We have it all. What part of we have it all don't you understand? They'd say, right?
Right.
Oh, and Austin Morris also said that they are making the ruble over into a gold-backed currency now. Okay.
Yeah, that's part of the BRICS.
Hello, Susan. Hi, Susan Daniel. The Brexit people.
The BRICS: Brazil, Russia, India, China.
Yeah.
Let's see, South Africa or something like that. I can't remember all of them.
Okay.
The BRICS financial system. And see, they are not dependent on SWIFT because of that.
Uh-huh.
He's smart. He knows. He knew what they were going to do before he did all this.
I think we should start our own monetary system called Swifter. It's
Okay.
better than Swift.
Yeah.
Swifter. Actually, I had an idea for Swiffer socks or Swiffer slippers. Right?
Biden's got one called Not So Swift.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Huh.
You got the weather there, huh?
I'm cooking in the background. I got this little air fryer.
Oh, okay.
And for the first time, I tried cooking chicken wings in it. And it works quite lovely.
Uh-huh.
And I got this, I'm sitting here in the garage, and it's darker, so it's kind of hard to see the button. So I got this thing. I have this little thing. It's cheap. Costs about $15. That actually reads. It's got a temperature probe. It's really small, and it reads the temperature to you. You stick it in the chicken wing, and it'll tell you how the temperature is.
That's not buffalo wings, is it?
Well, I haven't put any buffalo sauce on them yet, but
because those winged buffaloes are very they're endangered. I wouldn't eat those.
Yeah.
You like?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And they leave quite a mess behind. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Gotta.
I mean, have you seen the pictures of how big some of those buffaloes were in the past?
Oh, you know what? When my kids were younger, we took a stagecoach ride into a field of buffaloes, and it was magical. It was magical. We were on top of the stagecoach. You could choose either to ride inside the stagecoach or on top of it. We went on top of it, so we had like a really cool view of all these buffaloes. It was very cool.
I once traveled and worked in, when I was about 15 years old, I worked in Minnesota for a summer on a farm.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun because we were up near, I think it's Battle Lake, Minnesota. Up in Otter Tail County, I think it's called. Anyway, there were 1,000 lakes just in this county. So we had a blast because the boss let us use the car and a boat. As long as we got our chores done, he said you can take off at the end of the day and go fishing anywhere you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
So we did. Well, it got old after a while, but we went every night.
Mm-hmm.
We went out for a few hours fishing and tried a different lake each time.
Yeah.
But one time we were on this lake, I think it's called Twin Lakes.
Twin Lakes, okay.
And we're just pulling out of the water at the end of the evening in this, we've been warned to, be careful who you're dealing with, right? Because here we are, teenagers by ourselves, essentially, in Minnesota. So this guy comes up to us and says, I got something I want to tell you, I've got something you would want to see. It's in my basement. And then we're thinking to ourselves, what could go wrong here,
Mm-hmm.
Well, I waited. My mom came up to visit later in the summer, and I had the guy's number, so I called, and we went over there. This guy said he'd been on this lake, Twin Lakes, in the middle of winter, and he's out ice fishing. He got too close to the edge and fell in.
Oh no!
And had to fight for his life just to survive. Right? Got out of the water, the freezing water. But while he was in there thrashing around to get out, his foot kept hitting on something under the water.
Hmm.
So later he came back in the middle of summer and dived there, and he found all kinds of mastodon skeletons.
Oh, okay. I think you told me about this before.
And I don't know if I told it to the people in the chat, though, or people on the channel here.
Mm-hmm.
But we went to this guy's place, and his entire basement is like a museum.
Mm-hmm.
He's got had 17 complete mastodon skeletons in there.
Okay.
It was just amazing because he dived over many years to bring all these things up. And it was quite extraordinary. I'm glad I went. We were a little bit fearful that this guy might be a psychopath or something,
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't the case.
Well, that reminds me, I'm glad you brought that up about a psychopath, because when you're choosing a path in life, try to avoid the psychopath.
Yeah, good idea.
There you go. 2 just for good measure. That's, by the way, Dark Brain, that's not special effects. It's a YouTube video. So I didn't get special effects. I just have access to the intranet. So there you go. It might not be as classy or as sophisticated as some of these other, podcasters out there, but when you're a caveman, you do it the caveman way, right? There you go.
But it was so much fun in Minnesota.
I grew up in
The
Minnesota.
water is so clean.
Oh, yeah.
If anybody's never been to Minnesota and see the water,
I grew up
you
there.
can see 20, 25 feet down.
Oh, yeah. I grew up there. Yeah. The fish are like biting on the hairs of your legs. You can see them all the way down to your feet. Yeah. It's, we had a lot of spring-fed, beautiful lakes. Lake Minnetonka was a sacred lake for the Mohawk Indians. And we lived on top of an Indian burial mound. It's Mound, Minnesota.
Well, the real reason, though, that the water's so clean, it's because there's these aquatic plants that got started before people in modern times churned up the water so much that the silt filled the water.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all this plant life traps the silt.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been talking with some people about using it in different parts of the country to clean up the water.
Mm-hmm.
If you use silt traps in some of these places where they have big river systems to slow down the water enough that a lot of the silt will drop out,
Mm-hmm.
then you can plant these aquatic plants all along the shore, and over time they will slowly trap the silt, and the water will get clearer and clearer and clearer until more and more, the plants start growing at deeper and deeper depths.
Okay.
And over time, you can make some of the water in other parts of the country crystal clear too. But
wow,
it's not rocket science, as they say.
You know what I heard? Maybe I've mentioned this before too, but I heard this a long time ago that someone was doing an experiment with spent fuel rods from a nuclear power plant. And they took these rods and they put them in these containment sheaths, these metal containment sheaths. And then they connected them all together to like a giant rake. And they dredged the bottom of this dead lake. This lake was completely dead. What happened was the radiation from the spent fuel rods kind of kick-started life to happening in that lake again. And it greatly reduced the radioactivity of the rods. And I thought, wow, if this is true, that would be like a miracle because you could solve 2 problems with one thing, I don't know if that's true or not.
Well, they discovered something at Chernobyl that's quite profound. They discovered, I'm going to tell you something that I don't think I've told any public venues of now. They discovered that something in the area of Chernobyl was protecting animals and plants from radiation damage. And they said the United States, some scientists got wind of this, and they wanted to go see if they can find out what's going on. They went in, and you have to drive. It's I think it's like 45-minute drive at 75 miles per hour to get to the reactor. And then you've got to come out quickly because you can only spend a few hours in there without getting a very high dose of radiation. Much to their surprise, they found people living in there.
Yeah, and animals.
And they're like, how's this possible? So they stopped. They said, we have to stop and try to figure out what's going on here. So they did, and they took samples and asked people questions, and they said, well, we just slowly moved in here. We came from the outside, and they said, well, what did you eat? He said, well, we planted these different things, and most of them were root crops that, they ate like carrots and things like that made their fruit underground. And they discovered, to cut to the chase here, they discovered that parts per billion level tellurium completely protected them from the background radiation.
Okay. What's that?
Now, the significance of that is, there's been all this talk about the Fukushima plant in Japan, polluting all of the Pacific Ocean and for centuries to come and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out there is more than enough tellurium in the waters of the Fukushima plant to protect over the long run, protect the life there.
Okay.
It's another example where, even despite our ignorance, despite the things that we do that's not so good, God's got our back,
Mm-hmm. Hey,
So,
I think I found something here. What is that? That looks like a ship out there. Holy moly, look at that. Wow, I didn't look at this before, folks, but check this out. What is that? It's not connected to anything here, is it? We just can't tell. I don't know. Let's try to unpixelate that. And wow, I'm going to take a little screenshot of that. This might be something, folks. I don't know. Very strange. Look at that. Wow.
But
Okay.
the reason you won't hear people talk about this very often is because imagine if a dictator somewhere had lots of nuclear weapons, could suddenly get the idea that he could protect his country from radiation.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to encourage these people to doing the unthinkable.
And we don't know how good it works or what the ratios are, or,
Right.
It's like a beginning start of discovering something, not something that is a known entity.
But it did discover that it lowered the radiation level so much. I mean, protected so well that even there's a background mutation rate everywhere where you're at. There's a certain level of mutation rate related to the natural isotopes in the soil.
Okay.
The mutation rate of these people living in the area around Chernobyl was lower than the background mutation rate.
Okay.
It was protecting them so profoundly that, and I don't know if you know, there's gigantic catfish in the reactor ponds around Chernobyl, which are massively high radiation. By all rights, they shouldn't be alive at all, but they are. It is a testament to the adaptability of life in general.
Wow.
There's videos of that showing when people went in there, that in these cooling ponds, there are now all these fish that live in there.
Wow. That's
10-foot long catfish and things like that.
That's wild. That is wild. Totally wild.
Maybe Godzilla was disclosure of that.
Yeah.
Maybe there's an island off of Fukushima Godzilla's gonna suddenly mutate and come to life.
Could be. Here is that screenshot I just took, folks, of that mystery object behind the space station again. Look at that. This is something different from what we saw before, folks. This is a new discovery. This is amazing. That's amazing.
There's something new there.
Yeah, something new. Something new. It's a very strange shape. A bunch of rectangles kind of stuck together with two bright things on either end of it. I don't know. It almost looks like a piano or something in space. It's weird looking. But it's something, and it's very large, and it's not connected to the space station. It's not connected to it. So maybe it's a ship coming to to dock with it, maybe, that happens. That does happen. But I'm freaking out here because, I looked at this before the show, and I even did some of these same things to it. I didn't see it before. I just didn't see it. But it's pretty big. Wow. I'm floored. I mean, I'm also amazed at what you said about this stuff protecting people from radiation. That's pretty interesting. Well, life always finds a way, huh?
There's one article that talked about it at all. It was in a Discover magazine about, I don't know, I'm going to guess it was about 1994, maybe, or they had some discussion about it. But I've watched. Nobody had it elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
There was one documentary done about Chernobyl where they talked about something protecting the plants and animals there, but they weren't telling what it was.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and and what we've been told about radiation might not even be true because it's invisible. You can't smell it. They could tell us anything, really, right? We wouldn't know.
Yeah, who's to know what the reality of what we've been taught about science?
Yeah.
We know a lot of it's untrue.
Right.
So who's to say?
I don't pronounce it science. I pronounce it science. You know why?
Science.
I always like to pronounce the silent letters, so I say science, because I like to pronounce silent letters because I feel like they're being discriminated against. Hey, that works pretty good, doesn't it? I like that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, or Austin Morris says, nothing to establish the scale. I don't recognize the shape, though. Yeah. Well, the fact that it's in as good of focus as it is tells me that it's closer than that other object I've been seeing that's very fuzzy and nondescript, just a blob, really. This is more than a blob. So I'll do
no, it's the blob.
I'll do some more work on this to try to suss out some more detail. And I'll keep checking the live streams on the ISS to see if I can find that angle again. But when you're talking about the ISS, it's not small, folks. So here's a picture of the ISS. There it is. It's right here. It's pretty big. And there's cameras all over it. So, it's going in one direction. So if it's going this way, like going up, if you will, then the cameras up here will see stuff as it comes under you. The ones back here will see things as they go past. So, and each camera angle has some different visual accoutrements that you can see parts of the space station. So it takes a little bit of doing, but you can find the same view if you sift through enough of this footage. It's a lot of footage to sift through, though. But I've been doing it, and so yeah, that's the space station right there. Look at that, some red thing right there. So here's another, the ship that this picture is taken from is like a supply ship coming, either coming to resupply or leaving. I don't know, one of the two. But yeah, that's what that is. So yeah, Skyence, yeah. SKY dash ENCE, yeah, Skyence. There you go. Yeah. I was telling my kids that when they were younger. I was telling them you should always pronounce the silent letters because silent letters are being discriminated against. And so my daughter said, and she was quite young at the time, she said, Dad, could you turn on the Legahite, the light? She's pronouncing the G and the H. So funny. So funny. Space junk, yeah. And Elon Musk is sticking like thousands and thousands of these Starlink things up there, and it's getting pretty crowded up there. You're already having a hard time, okay, we can do the rocket launch, but there's a couple nuts and bolts that might be crossing our path or going 17,000 miles an hour. You got to avoid those two things because they track every object. They track every object, even if it's just a nut or a bolt or something, which is why I'm glad that someone has, I think China has it, is this, and Space Force is working on it too, are these spacecraft that can capture something and throw it into a lower Earth orbit so it'll decay and harmlessly burn up in the atmosphere, hopefully.
I can't believe they're getting criticized for that.
Why would they be? I mean, it's a hazard.
I don't know. I guess they're worried that they're going to grab our satellites and do something to it. I guess I don't know.
I suppose it looked like ours. We thought it was ours. Well, we thought. Sorry. well. Oops.
Oops. Sorry about that.
We'll check next time a little better. Sorry about that. Yeah, I suppose it could be in warfare. It could be that could be, but they've had killer satellites forever.
Yeah.
But the killer satellites they have up there now, the ones they've had for decades, are the ones that they're going around at 17,000 miles an hour, and they can drop little bombs, little things for someone to run into. They could steer it to the path where they know something is going to be going, and some satellite they want to take out, and they can take it out just by letting out a handful of nuts and bolts, put it in the path of something that's going 17,000 miles an hour, and blam, get lost in space. They don't know how, they don't know why. Yeah, very nefarious, possibly. Oh yeah, and David Parsons says the ISS is 240 miles in altitude. Most satellites are below 200 miles or so, but there is a lot of space junk. Yes, there is. Yeah, I think people are liking the drum roll, so that's cool. That's what I needed. I needed that drum roll. I got to remember to have that next time too. I probably won't have it with Corey. Well, maybe I'll crack a joke. Maybe not. Probably not. It's probably gonna be pretty serious stuff. Yeah. Oh, someone's asking for the Zoom link. Crypto Alchemist.
That's a neat name.
Yeah, Crypto Alchemist. Yeah, these alchemists, they can make these little creatures too. They're little these creatures they make by doing something. They do something. They create these little creatures. Look at Austin's comment. Funny. Okay, Austin Morris. Okay, here it is. I think this is it. Oh yeah, they'll have to send up some trashtronauts to clean it up. Yeah, trashtronauts.
Oh yeah, that's what Laura called it, or
Space Force.
Laura, loyal to the foil, called it.
Space Force News. Yeah, trashtronauts. Oh yeah, that does sound familiar. Yeah, trashtronauts. Thanks for the tip. All righty then. I get my participants box here so I can keep an eye open here. Hello, Willie Fix-It and Gnarly News. Piggy Dancer and Abby.
Every time you say that, I want to say Betty won't.
I know, yeah. I think that's his wife. That's his wife, Betty won't.
Oh.
Yeah. So we've been looking at that picture long enough, I think. Yeah. That one freaks me out.
I've got a major weakness, and that's chicken and turkey skin.
Oh, skin? Skin?
Yeah. You know, when you cook a turkey,
yeah,
the skin just gets brown.
Sure.
Wow, it's just like, to me, it's like heaven.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, turkey was one of my favorite. Turkey was one of my favorite meats when I was eating meat, for sure. But you know, people are talking about these fake veggie burger things, and I'm just so sick of people trying to make a plant look and taste like meat. I don't want my plants to taste and look like meat. If I wanted meat, I'd eat meat.
Yeah, I tried that Impossible Burger once.
Oh, I don't even want to try one.
And
they have beef in them.
When I had it, I realized, you know what? If you take away the salt, this really doesn't taste that good.
Right.
So, and then of course I learned and read about the dangers of what they're putting in there. These are proteins foreign to the human body.
Mm-hmm.
So the things that they've manufactured, and so that they have totally unknown effects. I said, what could possibly go wrong?
I don't know. Watching my participants box. So if you're going to call in, call in. We're holding it open for you. Yeah, David Parsons says fake steak, tofurkey, and not dogs. ROLFL. Yeah. You know those fake hot dogs? When I was just starting to become a vegetarian, I had some of those fake hot dogs, and I went, wait a minute. These taste exactly like a hot dog. How did they do it? I thought, wait a minute. Maybe there's no actual meat in a real hot dog. Maybe this is all there was, because they taste exactly like it. I don't know how, but yeah, I don't have any desire to eat them anymore. It was like a novelty. But that's the one thing that does taste exactly like the meat version. But then again, how much meat is really in a real hot dog? Probably not much. Probably not much.
I once went to China on a business venture, and I was being interrogated by the Chinese, well, my business partner went to a mall in China. One, I think it's the second or third largest city. I can't remember. And he was describing this mall. He said the mall was huge. It had stores that you wouldn't find here anywhere. I mean, they have stores in the mall that sell laboratory glassware. You know, that's all they sell. And he says, you know, one of the most disgusting things he saw is it took, first of all, it took forever to get through the mall, because literally there's so many people in the mall, you had no space between you. There was no social distancing. You were literally packed like sardines in the mall. So to move from one store to another took you 20 minutes, because you're fighting your way through the crowd. And so he was describing this delicatessen, and he said that he got sick. I mean, he said, I can't stay here, because he saw what we would classify as pets hanging up there.
Okay,
I don't get any more graphic than that, but he said he about lost it when he saw that.
I'm letting Bernie in. Bernie, your name is on there. I don't know if you know that or not, but we got a caller.
Hello.
Hello. Do you want me to call you Bernie?
Yeah, I'm Bernie. I am the crypto alchemist that
Okay.
I do alchemy, I do crypto, and many other things. I just need a couple more minutes though to get ready, so I'm just gonna mute myself out for a momento.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
Yeah. Crypto alchemist. Here he comes. There he is. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, no, I'm looking at the wrong one. So he's got a picture up now. Good. It looks like he has some blacklight posters or something. Or paintings. Maybe he's a painter. He's a crypto alchemist. I'm kind of curious as to what that is, you know, crypto alchemist.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like, if I had to guess, I'd say it's making creatures.
I have no idea.
Crypto alchemist. You know, it's funny. I mean, you haven't heard about alchemists for ages, and all of a sudden in the last 5 years, like, alchemists are everywhere. Even Laura Eisenhower calls herself an alchemist.
Well, I studied the ancient alchemists. There's one that's got, like, his name is like 5 words long. There's one called Philippus Aureolus Theophrastus Paracelsus Bombastus von Hohenheim. That's his full name. That's Paracelsus' full name.
Wow. Paracelsus?
But
who names their
a lot of
kid?
interesting information.
Who names their kid Paracelsus? Let's name him Paracelsus. He looks like a Paracelsus, doesn't he? He sure does.
But they had a lot of interesting things that mainstream science says, oh, they were wrong, right? And now I actually believe they were absolutely right. And I think it's the basis for the secret space program.
Could be.
And that's these two-dimensional superconductors, the so-called monatomic gold and the elixir of life and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they're absolutely right. And I didn't start there, I guarantee you. I thought, like everybody else, that this is just diluted science. But it's looking more and more like they knew what they were talking about. And perhaps people began to shift our knowledge so that, in saying, oh, this is all nonsense, deliberately to keep us in the dark. Okay. That's what it's looking more and more like to me. There's so much evidence to prove that they were right.
Mm-hmm.
I've had this discussion with a lot of chemist friends.
Okay.
And and told them where to find the references, where to find the articles that proves what I'm saying. You know, a superconductor, right? We're told that there are not any room temperature superconductors, but Salvatore Pais actually has a patent called, it's entitled Room Temperature Superconductor.
Mm-hmm.
If you're interested in such things, go look it up. It's
okay.
But the interesting thing is, if you have a two-dimensional superconductor, it can dissipate energy to other layers above and below it, and because of that, it's stable. It can be stable and much higher than room temperature.
Okay.
And there are papers that describe this in great detail.
Okay.
There's no doubt in my mind that it is part of the basis for how the technology in the secret space program performs, including anti-gravity.
Okay.
I've been thinking about a presentation I'd like to make, and I don't know if it's appropriate for your channel or not, because I don't know if there are enough people interested in the details of anti-gravity to want to sit through a long program.
I don't know.
It would literally take about 4 2-hour episodes.
Oh boy.
Yes, please.
Yes, please. He says. Yes, please. I got to say what the picture is I have on the screen here. It's an image. It's actually two pictures of something they found on the surface of the sun. It's a rectangular thing, very close to the sun, very large. Boy, probably as large as 1,000 Earths or more. But this was on the latest Secure Team 10 video. So check that out. So there it is. So, Crypto, tell us about yourself.
Sorry, I'm going to need a couple more minutes, but everything your guest is saying is bang on, and I will give you some demonstrations of the monoatomic elements that I have made, as well as much, much more.
Okay, great. That sounds
Fantastic.
cool. Cool as a moose, I'd say.
Yeah, it's reality, folks. I've actually taken monatomic elements that you can derive from. There's an easy way to get them. You can get Himalayan sea salt.
I got that right here. Yeah.
And it's pink usually.
Yeah, pink Himalayan salt right here. Let's look
And
at the
you can
rock
get
side.
the easiest way is to mix equal parts of the Himalayan sea salt. Get you a bottle that's got a cap for, with equal parts of grapeseed oil.
Okay.
That you can buy from a high-end grocery or something. Shake it up, put it in the dark, let it set for at least 24 hours. And you can look at it now and again if you want to see what's going on, but you see it gets very cloudy, but then the cloudiness clears out.
Okay.
And that the monatomic gold in particular is soluble in the grapeseed oil.
Okay.
And there are some great papers out there and great evidence where a guy had a cat that lost its tail, and he kept applying a hand cream that contained the monatomic gold in it to the cat's tail, and the cat's tail regrew.
Okay.
There are some disadvantages of monatomic elements, however. If it supercharges your physical state. In other words, if you have cancer and you take one of these monatomic elements, you put the cancer in overdrive. So it's not something you want to do if you got cancer.
Oh, okay.
Which I found out the hard way.
Mm-hmm. Did I tell you that I had cancer for about 10 years, but I divorced her. Oops, a little off on the timing
okay.
there.
I didn't see that one coming.
No.
I think you said it before, and I didn't even see it coming.
That was her star sign. She was a Cancer, so I can say that with certainty. I had Cancer, but then I divorced her. There you go. A little better timing there. I got to get my trigger finger a little bit.
But I'm going to put something out there. This is just a current understanding of my time machine.
Okay.
That these monatomic elements are involved.
Okay.
And I didn't know that before. My understanding of what's going on is improving over time.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, I must have come across these monatomic elements myself when I developed my time machine that I've sold 3 of so far.
Well, you're 20.
Everybody out
here,
time crystals.
Everything around us is approximately 20% monatomic elements, and we can't even see them.
Yeah, right.
They're what I believe to be the basis of life. In fact, they are these monatomic elements, if I'm correct about this, are the field, the superconductor, which makes up the mind of God.
Wow.
It's got infinite storage capacity. Our soul is connected in part of it.
Well, I'm not sure if any of us is smart enough to figure out the mind of God, though. So I have to.
Well, this
throw
is
that
a
in
theory.
there.
I didn't say.
Okay. All right. They're pretty lofty.
You understand it's just a theory.
Sure. Okay.
But it explains a lot of things because it explains the connection to an infinite source of knowledge, the Akashic record, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
It explains potentially the divine powers that will manifest over time as our consciousness increases.
Mm-hmm.
It explains a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to go into great detail now because it's one of the 4 parts that I would talk about. You know, if somebody wanted me to do this, the first part would be kind of like a grand overview.
Mm-hmm.
You got to lay down some information related to the subject before, and then there'd be a summary, and then there would be nuts and bolts in the last 2 episodes type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And if we were going to do this, I would propose we don't do this like bam, 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 4 episodes in a row. I think it would be better to do one and then wait a few weeks and then do another.
Mm-hmm.
You know, wait a month or 2 and do another.
Okay.
You know,
right.
spread it out.
Okay.
There's an important reason for that is so that people can think about it. They can formulate their questions, and you know, I'm very anxious to hear what Crypto Alchemist is going to tell us. But
are you there yet, Crypto?
But
is he back yet? No, he's still doing something.
I'm absolutely positive this is the technology that's kept hidden in the deepest secret labs in our world right now, and it is in a major way the fundamental basis of some of the major technologies we have in the secret space program.
Okay. Did you?
I'm absolutely 100% positive of that.
You know, I don't know if this is related or not, but I remember hearing in the secret space program that, boy, I forgot what I was going to say now. I forgot what I was going to say. I was going to say something.
Okay, well, you'll remember.
Hold on. I will? Monatomic. Okay, here it is. So apparently, the secret space program, the people in charge of all this stuff were trading ancient artifacts that they dug up out of the ground that the aliens wanted, different giant stone things from the earth.
Yep.
And so we'd give them that, you know, a stone chair from, you know, eons ago or whatever it is. And then he'd give us some some technology. Well, they didn't realize what they were giving away. They thought they were just giving away rocks, stone things,
Right.
but they were actually giving away the highest technology that has ever been on this planet. Because
Right.
while it looks like a rock, and it is just a rock, it's connected through some kind of method, I don't know, quantum entanglement or whatever, with some super high-tech technology. So it looks like just a slab of rock, but it can do amazing things
Yep.
because it's got this
That's the
connected technology that we were unaware of. So
Yep.
that could be
Yep.
this monatomic
Yeah,
two-dimensional,
absolutely.
whatever you're
20,
talking about.
20% of the world around you right now, if you go out and pick up a pound of soil in your hand, 20% of it is platinum, iridium, gold, silver, palladium,
Yeah,
all these
yeah.
certain metals, and you're saying,
Hmm.
wow, you can get rich with that, you know? And the thing is, they're the basis for life. This is the thing
Hmm.
that life is attracted to. You've seen these cattle mutilations where the look at the cattle, and this happened recently on the show, what is that, out in Utah, Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh, yeah.
There's an episode where they had a cow that was mutilated
Ew,
almost in front of their eyes.
gross.
Well, the cow's still there and it didn't decompose.
Right, right.
Well, the theory that I have, the reason it didn't decompose is somebody or something sucked out the two-dimensional superconductor, which is essential a basis for life.
Mm.
And without it, the rest of life, including bacteria, is not attracted to it.
Okay.
And actually, Andrew, one of the things, there are a number of things in what Andrew said that he doesn't realize it. Well, maybe he does realize it. That's providing verification to someone in the know that his story is real.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those things, he described an experiment they did where they showed gamma rays affected the size of the soul.
Okay.
Okay.
Crypto's back.
Okay.
He's holding up something. What was that you were holding up, buddy?
This is monoatomic zinc, gold, copper, and silver elements all combined and stored in a jar. This one's been sealed for about 2 years, staying in that monoatomic plasma state. And it's that this monoatomic material is the metal elements in their fourth state of matter, the plasma state, also aka quantum matter. It's quantum because it is the single atom, thus it is not.
Uh-oh, he froze.
Entangled and available.
Oh, okay.
Try
It's entangleable though?
It is entangleable.
Entangleable?
Yes.
Entangleable. I don't know if that's a real word or not.
Right?
One of the things I want to add
Just
to
created
that,
it.
super deformed, what's called a super deformed nuclei. What happens in atoms that the nucleus can become deformed by more than a certain amount creates the conditions under which monatomic elements can form. So
Okay.
it's something I discuss further at another time. But
So a monatomic element is nothing more than just a single atom of a substance? Is this what we're talking about?
yes, except it has certain monatomic elements have they're trans-dimensional materials. They exist out of time. Do you see how this might be important for A, time travel, B, anti-gravity?
Could be. It could be.
Number of things.
I don't know. I guess I don't know enough about.
Absolutely.
And
And
an element that suddenly pops out of existence as far as we can measure.
All
It's
right.
that it's this plasma state, right? It's a fourth dimension. It's higher up, so that then it's able to pull out energy or sending it down into ours. Therefore, it's creating an open circuit system of energy, not a closed system, and not breaking any rules of thermodynamics.
Hmm.
It also becomes resonant with, it's part of 2D superconductors, and they can resonate with other 2D superconductors around them.
Yeah. I don't know.
They can join into a collective state. This is the basis for consciousness, by the way.
Well, I was at a party once and they were so wild, they weren't even obeying the law of gravity there. Ba-doom-pa.
You missed your
Oh, I didn't have it set up. See, I'm not used to this yet.
there we go.
Better
There we
late than never. Better late than never.
So
Well, how did you get into this? It's in this plasma form. Is that because it's in a liquid with the other ones?
part of it no, so the plasma, for instance, the noble gases, when they're in their plasma state, aka ionized gas, like your neon tubes or your fluorescent tubes that are putting off light, like the aurora borealis, that is the gas, noble gas elements in their plasmatic state, not their gaseous state. Thus, they're also superconductive in that state. And it's
Hope he froze up again.
You
I connected David Hudson's Ormies. Sorry about that.
Most neon signs have to have a curved end in them, because you can trap
Circle the
neon,
energy
for
back in.
example, in a straight tube, and it'll stay in there. But if you energize it, the gas will escape the tube. You literally get tunneling of the neon gas through the ends of the tube, and it escapes the tube when energized. It only escapes when energized.
In that plasma quantum state.
Yep.
And so I connected Sir Isaac Newton's recently released Alchemy writings to David Hudson's Ormies, which he calls monoatomic elements, but it's an acronym
Right. Orbitally rearranged monatomic elements. Yeah.
for orbitally rearranged electron. Yeah. And then what the Keshe Foundation calls GANs, gas, atom, nano, solid state, aka a single monoatomic atom in the plasmatic state. And then Sir Isaac Newton's alchemy writings, where he states that all metal elements can be broken down into their most basic state of existence in this white, English for molecular state of a single white atom, and that I've been able through electrolysis, not the chemical process that you're speaking about prior to me joining in here, but just through 5 volts of electricity and salt water with, for instance, sea salt or other salts into just copper anode, or I learned from the Keshe Foundation how to nano coat the material, which then creates the correct field force for the atoms on the anode side to then break down into this monoatomic plasma pure white state that I'm showing right here. And it's that that is the plasma state, but people will that is so to repeat, there's this greenish blue, it's not monatomic, it'd be diatomic, where it oxidizes, and it's in a plasmoid state, so it's still superconductive, but it's extremely harmful to you because it's no longer this quantum de-entangled, but it's bonded with the oxygen, at which point it tears your cells as opposed to harmoniously going in with them, and how the body and the cells already use these plasma state elements in the blood and in the different processes of life. And that is where you'll get the heavy metal accumulation and poisoning, is if you're taking these oxides. And that is why they also turn blue, is because
About every
the
20,
blue is the color of the metals when they're oxidized.
about every 20 seconds, you get a little freeze up. About every 20 seconds. I'm not sure what that is, but so that's interesting.
Well, if you
So you say it's superconductive, but now, I mean, how can you use that to make a superconductor? I mean, superconductive.
Rotation is one aspect. At about 3,500 to 4,000 RPM and higher, it actually produces a physical plasma field of energy that can be interacted with, similar to the same sort of EMF field that Tesla coils make, but much stronger plasma field.
Did you hear about the plasma life forms that Corey Good claims they found in the upper clouds of Jupiter?
Not specifically, but I've actually thought of, like, pondered that possibility many times of my own accords, and through my connecting the ancient alchemy writings, teachings, and science to the modern plasma, I theorize that the Saturn and Jupiter giants of these monoatomic elements, and that aluminum, tin, sulfur, and when they're in these plasmoid chemical states that I've produced, it looks identical to the corresponding metal planet.
Okay. Now, in Corey's testimony, he claims he was in the secret space program and he was aboard this research vessel, and they discovered these plasma life forms in the upper clouds of Jupiter, feeding off of the radiation in the upper clouds. They captured one, brought it in the ship, but it did not survive. They went to get another one, and when they tried to get the other one, it evaded them. It showed preservation of life.
Yeah, I was just thinking, as you said, that if it was a plasma state capture, because theoretically it'd be able to transist through solid state matter.
Yeah, for whatever reason, it was not able to survive the trip inside the craft. And then the other ones were evading it. So it just showed preservation of life, and they were consuming the radiation. They were multiplying, they were dividing, and they were giving off waste too. So they had all of the hallmarks of life, but they were no life that we've ever seen.
Do you know of Dan Winters and Dan Winters' work and research?
No.
Very good scientist, researcher in both monoatomics and plasmas, but he goes into depth on his works with different tribal groups and indigenous cultures around the world, bet to North American, Canadian native groups, and lots of them in their ceremonies have these giant bonfires on the ley lines, which he says then these plasmatic worm entities come out of and manifest in the fires through the ley lines and in these native rituals.
Have you seen My Time Machine? Crypto?
I have not, but
oh my goodness,
I understand.
Check this out. Okay, here's the warning, the big warning. Okay, time travel device. Yes, now you can go into the future as far as you want, whenever you want, but remember,
only forward, can't go back.
Can't go back. You can't go back. You can only go in the future. And the secret of this product is, and I don't know if they're monatomic elements, but they're time crystals. And
that's actually an even higher dimensional state of matter.
I know, and I'm going to show you right now. You see, when all of the time crystals go from the time the crystal chamber above into the lower chamber, then you've traveled exactly 1 minute into the future, and everything around you also travels into the future.
I love it.
So you can go as far as you want into the future, but don't get carried away, because enjoy the present. Don't just keep going into the future, okay? So there you go. That's my dad joke.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, one thing in relation to what
Yeah, a little late.
I'm trying to remember his name here. Crypto Alchemy said he, in relation to one of the patents, the patent was called a Navy patent called Compact Fusion Reactor.
Okay.
Talks about producing charged clusters. Well, on the most basic of scales, what are the two main charged materials? One is the proton, right? And the other was the electron. Well, electron clusters, there's a couple well-known electron clusters. One is called the Cooper pair, which is the basis. You have two electrons essentially orbiting each other. They're bound together.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes a lot of energy to hold them together because they have a negative charge. They, just like the two of the same pole of a magnet, they want to push each other apart.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they have a certain binding energy that's needed to hold them together. But anyway, that's a type of charge cluster. And I think these patents, when they describe charge clusters, they're talking about things like Cooper pairs, which are it is the fundamental basis for superconductors. They don't want to come out and say that because then more people would realize not only what they are, but how one can produce them.
Okay.
So.
Wow. Cooper pairs.
So he's right on the money there. There's a connection between these old revelations and technologies by the ancient alchemists and modern technological advances. And these are present in all matter. The soil in us, it's the basis for all of it, all of life, all of consciousness, I should say, is probably the more accurate thing to say, is made up of this. This is why my speculation about it being part of the consciousness of God. So.
All right. So what was that your head there, Crypto?
So this is a Magrav coil of the Keshe Foundation. It's actually a solenoid within a solenoid within a solenoid. There's 3 copper coils within each coil. And then you nano coat it and it gives you that plasma reaction with the monoatom. I'm going to be testing in accordance with the Keshe Foundation standards through their plasma reactor groups going forward here in the next month or so.
Okay. It looks like we lost Max. We lost Max. His shoe phone must need to be recharged or something.
So it's very important that anybody working with this Ormus, the GANs, the monoatomic material, that if you ever get it in this blue or green, that you do not consume the water or the material. That is straight toxic poison to you. You will do exponential more damage to yourself and get that heavy metal poisoning.
Oh my God. Now, why would anyone even think of doing that? I mean,
because it's that demigod technology of that monoatomic gold and silver, right? And for instance, what I do is once I flush all the salt out, I rinse it 9 times, let it settle, and then I produce drinking water off the very top that I have. And I use that with equal parts gold, silver, zinc, and copper combined. And I'm creating this structured colloidal water. NASA has colloidal silver.
Yeah.
As it's antibacterial, antiviral, to 14 parts per million of this monoatomic gold or silver in their water, right? So this plasma, this monoatomic, that's 1,000,000 parts per million. So just imagine how much stronger and more powerful this colloidal waters are when you have the pure
Okay.
elements dissolving into it from the base.
All right. Now I got a question.
This is not ice, like I said, it's like just the smallest little wrong reaction and it will start turning into the blue green, the yellow, or the red, which the ancient alchemists claim is sulfur. I still have to get it tested, but the green blue is definitely oxide, and the red could be mercury oxide.
So that's just in water or in salt water?
That are also forming. Yeah, just in salt water. And it's that I've been able to reproduce the 7 states of metal transmutations that Sir Isaac Newton describes and writes down in his alchemy descriptions, and been able to do it with copper, zinc, silver, gold, iron.
So what's the goal? To be like a metal man?
Aluminum, lead. I want my own spaceship one day, right? And my own little anti-gravity plasma bubble. I also participate and I co-stream APEC every second Saturday with Tim Ventura and the alien scientist Jeremy Rice. It's used to be called American Anti-Gravity Propulsion Engineering Conference, and the last one last Saturday we were blessed with the presence of John Hutchinson and his wife Nancy, and they were on for over 4 hours. I'm now email corresponding with John and going to do a couple of streams on my channel.
Okay. I got a question for you about these
with him as well going forward.
I got a question about the elements that you're drinking out of there. Now, how do you know that they're not doing you harm? I mean, it's really hard. It's hard to kill people. So you could be taking poison every day and thinking maybe you're getting better, but I mean, how?
Right, and that's the thing, and you can.
I don't know. I don't trust it. I don't trust the colloidal silver.
Easily doing harm to yourself. This is a very valid point that you're bringing up, and that's why I don't like. I'm guinea pigging myself with it, but I don't recommend it to others. Like unless you really know what you're doing, and it's that I've been drinking the water now for about 8 years. I'm 36, going on 37, so.
You're still surviving. You're surviving.
Exactly, and haven't been sick in several years. And it's like people are taking these experimental shots of heavy metals directly into their system. So what's the difference of experimenting with some gold, silver, copper, and zinc metal water going into my stomach?
Maybe it is good, but here's something I worry about is, you hear about all these, the chemtrails and the possible introduction of nanoparticles and robots into your food and our air. So what if the dark elements of the deep state are infiltrating this movement and, trying to push this so people get these metal elements into them so these little robots can build their little infrastructure inside your body? I don't know. I worry about weird stuff.
Well, then we definitely have bigger issues. But to address that a little bit, I would say that at least when making your own, that it's just pure metals, salt, and water that you're using to create it. So it'd be a little hard to get stuff out of there. And I also left out a major part of the technology that was it's been covered up, I guess, for over 60, 70 years, but it was originally discovered by Nazi scientists before World War II. But on the cathode side of this electrolysis reaction, as soon as you add your own DNA into it, like a drop of blood or some hair, saliva, whatever it is, anywhere into the solution, instantly on the cathode side, these white flakes start accumulating and being produced, and it's your amino acids that bubble up and are formed and that you collect off of it. So it's literally, I guess, producing or multiplying, replicating your DNA, your amino acids RNA, which is your plasma state, your monoatomic, your nano piece of resonant frequency, energy, and technology, so that when you then combine that amino acids of your own, then resonating, broadcasting the plasma resonant frequency of your own cellular DNA, and thus how you're exponentially increasing the field strength of the plasma transfer from the monoatomics to your cellular structures and energy and health within you.
Okay. I'll pretend like I understood that. I don't know. You know, I'm an old-fashioned kind of a guy. And I look at some of these things people
I can
are
give
doing.
you a small demonstration of what I'm.
Okay. What are you going to do?
I will give me about 2 minutes here, and I can give you a demonstration of adding the water into a live little electrolysis experiment, so you guys can see it actually form and what's happening.
All right. It's a pretty funky little office you got there. A lot of, did you paint those fluorescent?
Yes, sir.
To your artwork?
They are all original paintings, but I am not the artist.
Hey, Max.
Say I do clothing and art.
I had to get off for a moment because I had
All right.
someone calling in. I thought they were giving me an update. I had a friend in the hospital
Oh, no.
with heart problems today, so I thought they were calling me back to give me an update.
All right.
It wasn't them, man.
Okay. I got a quick question, Crypto. Your name Crypto, is that crypto like cryptozoology or crypto like cryptocurrency?
It is cryptocurrency. So I'm the crypto alchemist. My plan is to create a cryptocurrency that when you stake it for a year, that you will then be able to claim 4% or 3% back as physical gold that you can then pay, transmutating digital bits and bytes into physical gold, thus the crypto alchemist aspect. Because all alchemists are transmutating gold, right? Highest form.
Okay.
Lead into gold.
A man can be dragged to, no, I don't know. I forget it. I forgot the joke. Go ahead. Oh, he's going to show us a little experiment or something he says is going on here. So monatomic crypto. All right. Looks like a little Bert and Ernie you got there. That's pretty cool. There they are, Bert and Ernie. It looks like,
so my name is Bernie, so Bert and Ernie, both Bernie. And my legal name is Bernard, so I am yet another Bernard that is an alchemist, and it's fascinating. The more I read into these Germanic and Austrian writings from the past 400 or 500 years, how many different Bernards are alchemists of Renown.
Wow. Well, I know one other Bernard, that's Bernard Mendez. You ever heard of him?
I'm not sure. I don't know if I have.
He was one of the people that came forward to verify Andrew Basiago's story about dealing with time travel and the Mars jump room and all that. And he had some very interesting things to say. He was one of the very few people who could communicate with extraterrestrials for the government. back in the 60s and 70s. And one group of extraterrestrials came and they had a question. And so they got Bernie, because Bernie could communicate with them. And they said, we've got this question. We've been monitoring your transmissions through your TV and radio. And we see evidence of a war on your transmissions. We travel all over your planet. We can't find the war. Please explain this. He said, well, look, those are movies. Some of that's fiction, and we make movies that's our entertainment. They got very upset because they had made certain contingency plans based on our transmissions that they thought were true and real. So we're talking about Godzilla, the Starship Enterprise.
That's fascinating.
They'd never heard of fiction before. And several of their officers lost rank because they'd made recommendations based on our transmissions. So Rodan and Godzilla might have saved our planet, folks, and Captain Kirk. Yeah, and not only that, but here's another weird thing. Now, Corey Goode, who claims he was in the secret space program, he was in this Super Federation meeting with all these different extraterrestrials, every different kind of color, race, and creed you can even possibly imagine. And there was these beings there with this olive green skin, beautiful olive green skin. And Corey was talking to another human who was there, and they were joking around how it looks like it's Captain Kirk's girlfriend, right? The green skinned girl. And they were kind of chuckling about it. One of the green skinned girls came over there and said, "Oh, did you serve with Captain Kirk?" And they're like going, She might have thought that was real. They might think that these are all real. It's like, where are they hiding that starship? We've seen it on their transmissions. Yeah, so just because they're more advanced doesn't mean they can understand our weird world here. Right? Looks like you got something up there. Looks like different.
That's the principles of alchemy. I'll explain that a little later. It's I deciphered that it is a pictographic language, vector graph language of universal structure, this ancient alchemy written language. And it's the oldest written language in human society, all the way back to the times of Babylonia and all of that. But it's that it's been continuously used in every society and culture around the world since that time up until the present day, where it is still used in our by Rome itself. In the Jesuit order, they still teach this language. And it's, why is that, and why is it so suppressed, and how is it the only language that has lasted since the beginning of recorded time in use? And what I've begun to discover is that it's because it is a geometric force vector of the structure of energy and shape and matter of the universe, essentially.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Yeah. Interesting. I don't know if we have a whole lot of time to get into that. It's getting kind of late already.
Yeah, sorry. So I'll get on with this ASAP, just to show you guys here just how you can make it yourself with just salt water, some metals, and even to start with, silver on silver to get that colloidal silver if need be. But only when it is pure white, never if it turns green, yellow, red, or any other color do you dare to consume any product of it.
For me personally, I wouldn't drink any of it, but I'm just a very cautious, old-fashioned kind of a guy where, like I said, it's really hard to kill humans, and we don't know if we're poisoning ourselves or helping ourselves. How would you know? I mean, I guess you'd get some kind of indication eventually.
Well, I'm just going to throw this out there. I've done a number of experiments where I've had other scientists from other universities look at the experiment and said, this is what I started with. This is what I ended up with. You tell me how it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
And as they say, it's not possible.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll show them the experiment, videotape of the experiment, and they'll say, well, I don't know what the heck's going on there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think what's going on there, crypto here referred to higher dimensional states. I think these higher dimensional monatomic elements can also act as catalysts in chemical reactions to do things that there's no other way to do them. I did a reaction that is a tin compound and needed, and tin's a very unreactive metal. I was able to make tin completely react. It took a little time. It took overnight, but it completely disappeared and reacted overnight, even though there's no visible evidence of it reacting. The only thing you could do is see the tin metal disappearing. There was no frothing, no bubbling, no temperature change, nothing.
Okay.
The tin just disappeared.
All right.
And it made the material I wanted it to make.
Okay.
And there's no reason it should have done that.
Okay.
There were no other chemicals in there that should make the tin react any differently.
Uh-huh. He's doing something with his stuff here. So describe what you're doing here. Is that the electrolysis? Oh.
You're talking to crypto, right?
Yeah, crypto. Is that the electrolysis?
Sorry, yeah, I was muted out there. Yes, it is the electrolysis that I'm setting up. I have zinc on the left side. I just connected. That is the anode side. In the middle, you can see a silver maple that is nano-coated, halfway submerged. And then on the far right, there is a nano-coated copper coil. I'll lift it up again so you guys can see exactly what I am talking about. Where this is the copper coil, the silver maple, and the zinc. And I just have to connect the electricity now to start pumping the reaction and demonstrate the amino acids that are produced as well as the monoatomic.
Kaboom. Just kidding.
Well, it's all endothermic, right? It's implosion technology. It's
okay.
cold fusion. So there's very little chance of explosion.
All right.
If you, I don't know, crypto, if you're interested in this, I think it's the third episode of, I think it was Cold Fusion Magazine, had an article by MIT professor by the name of Peter Hagelstein. I think you'd find that fascinating.
Hagelstein.
It was, just to let you know, it's the starting point for a theory that led to how to create anti-gravity.
Mm-hmm.
So by studying, he was tasked by one of his friends at MIT. He was a guy that said cold fusion is real, and he was one of these people that said no, cold fusion is not real. I can show you there's 3 or 4 miracles that would have to occur for cold fusion to be real, right? And that's why his friend picked him, because he knew his friend would figure out what was going on, even if he didn't believe that cold fusion was real. Okay, so he asked him, help me, show me I'm wrong, basically. And so he started off with these premises. They said that these miracles that had to occur, and one by one he realized, no, somebody's already proven that that's not true. That it is not a miracle. This actually occurs. You know, and it's something I'll go into later in more detail as part of the background that I talked about if I make this a long presentation in the future. But one by one, he showed that all these assumptions were wrong. And finally, he concluded that, wow, cold fusion is real. And then he had an explanation for how it works. And that explanation for how it works actually relates very much to these transdimensional 2D superconductors and antigravity. So,
all right.
Anyway.
So what's going on there now, Crypto?
So if you saw the white bubbles that were starting to form around the silver coin in the middle, and that was on the copper coil on the right hand side, it's the white foam that is the amino acids that are forming on top with the brought up with the atomic hydrogen, and then in the bottom there, all this white matter is the monoatomic that is being formed of the different elements. And since the anode side is the zinc, it's breaking down most. So it's about 95% monoatomic zinc in this mix, and then copper and silver making up probably the other 5. But
okay.
But here, so the bubbles that are forming on top, it's the white foam that is this amino acid that is my resonant frequency DNA that is being formed by it. See right there, this stuff, and it will bubble up and produce quite a vast amount that you then harvest and put onto coils or also mix into your drinking water charge.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Wild. So how long have you been doing this alchemy stuff?
About 8 years now.
Oh, wow. Interesting. What's the most bizarre alchemy experiment you've ever heard of or saw or did?
I've had all sorts of crazy self-organization and nanostructures and tubes and stuff formed. That looks like different like worm, like plasmoid things while the reactions live, and like I had put in some of my blood the first time, it all like turned into like this dragon-like thing that was started circling, and it was crazy. It's hard to describe, but
so you put your own blood in it, kind of makes a life happen because there's electricity and elements.
Yeah, and in the plasma state, and especially when you mix it with the gold and the silver.
Okay. I'm not going to say that I understand it, but it looks like some kind of experiment or something. Yeah. Wow. It's interesting.
See, and then so this one was monoatomic gold, but then it recrystallized in a pure gold metal layer on the outside, as well as turned into this purple plasmoid. Like, I would never ever consume anything like that, because that is how you start to get your heavy metal poisoning. But it is something that could be used as a supercapacitant sort of material.
All right. Interesting. Huh. Wow. Well, that's wild.
Well, I made a number of things, you know, how they have bucky balls and bucky tubes. Well, you could make other tubes out of other elements other than carbon. And one of them that I made selenium tubes.
Okay.
Selenium, like similar to a buckyball.
All right.
So, and they have some pretty interesting properties.
Interesting.
And they're actually quite easy to make.
Mm-hmm.
And they change color with the size of the tube.
Okay.
So there's all kinds of interesting things that go on that are not fully explained. That's the exciting thing about chemistry / alchemy, you know?
Mm-hmm. Right.
There's literally that you hear people talking. I talked to some physicists, and they said, "There's nothing to discover. There's nothing left to discover." It says, "You're wrong. There's things going on around us all the time. They're unexplained."
Mm-hmm.
The whole universe of discovery out there left.
Well,
the problem is if you buy into the existing theory, you're ignoring other theories. So what you have to do is the right experiment, because then things start to happen in the experiment that can't be explained by
mm-hmm.
the existing theory.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you start to open your eyes. You start to see there's something else going on here.
Uh-huh. We're gonna have to wrap this up, guys, because our mods are leaving, and so
Absolutely. Do you mind if I just quickly share my YouTube site for anyone that is interested?
sure, yeah, go ahead and share it. Yeah, how can we get a hold of you? You're gonna share it in the chat? Chat.
Yeah, I can do that here.
Yeah, and
What's
also
the name of it?
he's typing it in right now. So
Put it in the Zoom chat there.
oh, it's in the Zoom chat. Okay, let me check the Zoom chat.
Yeah, only mods are able to post.
Okay, I think I can probably. Oops, shouldn't have done that.
Is it a YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
What's the name?
It is Crypto Alchemist. My main channel, Bernard Conkin, YouTube took down 5 months ago because I was doing too much free energy work, is my suspicion, and claimed it was pornography, multiple counts of pornography violation, and they have not replied to me or given me any sort of option of reinstating my main Bernard Conkin channel. And yeah, so just the Crypto Alchemist one that I posted now.
Okay.
It's pretty ridiculous.
Very good. All right. Well, it's so nice to meet you.
Be checking you out.
So nice to meet you, Crypto. Now, on Wednesday night at 8:00 p.m. Central Time, Corey Good's coming back on. And
Okay, cool.
I'll probably ask him again about those plasma beings. I interviewed him once before, so you can check that out too. It looks like Crypto Alchemist has left, so thank you very much. Nice to meet you. Make sure you check it out. Give him a follow on YouTube there. Sounds like he's got some interesting projects going on and a lot of really interesting stuff. Yeah. And so thank you, Crypto, for calling in, and thank you, Max, for calling in, and thank you to all the mods and everyone who was keeping the chat nice and cozy. Thank you very much. To everybody who came here, liked and shared and subscribed, hit the notification bell. Remember, 8:00 Wednesday, it's going to be Corey Good. We're going to have a Monday show first. So Monday night, then Wednesday will be the big Corey Good show. So wake the neighbors, get the kids, make sure you wake the dog, and everyone will have a fun time. So, and how do you know you're at the Truth Quest? Because we're just down Range of Strange, where the outrageous is contagious and the paranormal is the new normal. That's how you know you're at the Truth Quest. And we'll see you again on Monday. Have yourself a great weekend. Keep that camera poised to the sky so you can take that picture of that UFO and come on to the Truth Quest and talk about it. Until then, peace in.